Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the night shift. It's the first show of the week. I want to say big ups to each and every one of you. Welcome to Community and Finance Night right here on Community on the night shift for DJ Kevin Stew. I want to say big ups to each and every one locked in. Those on TuneIn Radio, those TuneIn Radio stations on TuneIn Radio. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew across the pond. One Harmony Radio. Big ups to you guys over there across the pond. King Genius, Queen Genius, big ups. Big ups to those on WGLRO, the home of the Donnie Walker Morning Show, taking you from the sheets to the streets, touching all points from Detroit to Denmark and everywhere in between. Big ups to you, those on PEMG TV, glad to have you. And of course, if you're right here at the home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, so glad to have you. I couldn't do it without you any at all on any of the stations. And guess what? I wouldn't even try. Sweet Shells. Kicking us off tonight with a little Sweet Shells. Hello to all my neighbors. The track is called My Neighbor. Do you know your neighbors? Bring your body, come on out here. Move your body just like you don't care. We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All our ways just jam together. I tell them it's so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist from walk to the soca. All our ways just jam together. I tell them it's so nice. Change your mind and don't think twice. I tell them it's so nice. He moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud. It's my neighbor, no control. He said he just can't do that. He never hear music, so I tell him that's how we do it. Bring up what's on there, let's ride. It's a lovely fetting all night. Come join and feel the vibe. I tell him just come over, enjoy yourself, no pressure. We jamming it so sweet. Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist, come walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. I tell him it's so nice. Change your mind and don't think twice. I tell him it's so nice. He moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud. It's my neighbor, no control. The music pumping big time, and woman taking small wine. Oh yeah, we in the street wet. We jamming, enjoying the flat. Something say look in the corner. It's my neighbor, he come over. He hand in the air, he jamming. On a bumper, it says moving. He moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud and loud. It's my
Want to say big ups to
what went on.
the Pulse Media Group and thank you for sponsoring this segment of the show.
Soca loud and loud.
When being in the moment is priceless, you want to give them a call.
We jamming it so sweet. Feel
754-999-6020.
up to the soca. All of we just jam together. I
What all can they do for you? Everything you see right here on kevinstew.com.
bring your waist, come walk to the soca. All of we just jam together. Yes, my name.
You can also visit them at pulsemg.com.
We jamming it so
However you visit them, you tell them, hey, listen, I heard about you on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew.
to the soca. All of we just jam together.
I saw what you do on his website.
Feel the rhythm, feel the heat. Bring your waist, come walk,
Can you make me a website like that one?
jam together. I tell them it's so nice.
Or
Your mind and
can you modify my website for me? Can you host my website for me? All these questions you can ask.
moving the whole crowd, singing soca loud.
They'll be glad to help you out.
No control. Yes, my neighbor.
Also want to say big ups to Althea and her healing heavenly hands.
Your waist from walk to the soca. All of we just
Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist
change your mind and
operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties.
nice.
She comes to you
Crowd, singing
as her table has oils,
it's my neighbor, no control.
leaves you in a state of bliss.
Say he just can't do that.
Not blisters,
But your music,
bliss.
I tell him that's how we do it. Bring up what's on there, let's ride. It's a lovely fetting all night. Come
I want to say big ups to Reggae Global Entertainment.
just come over, enjoy yourself, no Thank you for your services. What kind of services? Well, they can act as your booking agents. Take care of your publishing, your copyrights, your trademarks, business registrations, and so much more. Visit them at reggaeglobalentertainment.com or give them a call 954-998-8034. you, Shells, sweet Shells, for keeping everybody's company. As we wait for my guest tonight, she has to take care of some things. A little bit buried in some numbers right now, but in the meantime, you're kind of stuck with me. So, not that that's a bad thing or anything like that, you know. Come on now. So, here it is. We are. Oh, it's 4:20. Yes, it's 4:20. It's that day, and it's pretty much all up in smoke. You know, we are in a little bit of a situation right now where all over the world, everybody is asking about if they can get some help from the government. And I think rightly so. You know, we pay our taxes too. The government can help out the business sector. It can help out people, you know, in this time when nobody's working. So here in the US, there's a stimulus check. And it is classified as an economic impact payment. And millions of Americans already have received their stimulus checks, their economic impact payments. And this was authorized by the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, the CARES Act. Now, the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, continues to calculate and automatically send the payments to most eligible individuals. However, some may have to provide additional information to the IRS to get their payments. And so as a result, there are some questions that some people ask, and they happen to be what the IRS would consider to be frequently asked questions. And we're going to be looking at some of those frequently asked questions right now and for a portion of the night. Yeah, I did tell you guys that I owe you a finance show. Tonight is that. And a little bit later on, we'll be joined by Anthea Pennant. But until then, let me go ahead and give you some of this information. Now, who is eligible to receive this payment? If you are an American citizen, a U.S. citizen, or a U.S. resident alien, if you cannot be claimed as a dependent on someone else's return, if you have a social security number that is valid for employment, and there's an exception, your payment was deposited into your account on the 15th, well, good for you. Look at that. I need to come check you. There's an exception. If either spouse is a member of the U.S. Armed Forces at any time during the taxable year, then only one spouse needs to have a valid social security number. So that's one of the exceptions. If you have adjusted gross income below an amount based on your filing status and the number of your qualifying children. And there is additional information about eligibility on Get My Payment Frequently Asked Questions. And that is a link provided courtesy of that is a site provided through the IRS. So it's irs.com/coronavirus get my payment frequently asked questions. Yeah, it's a lot of slashes and dashes. All right, so when will I receive a payment if I do not make enough money to normally have to file an income tax return? So, eligible retirees and recipients of Social Security retirement, survivors benefits, railroad retirements, veterans benefits, people who don't make enough money to normally have to file a tax return are also eligible for the payment. So those who have, it's irs.gov. Did I say .com? It's irs.gov. Or did I just say the IRS website? Either way, it's irs.gov. So, oh, and by the way, I do invite you guys to jump into the stew pot. kevinstew.com. You don't have to do anything else. kevinstew.com, you're there. If you want to change your name, feel free to do so. If you want to remain anonymous and be a number, just be a regular potter, that's fine too. Okay, so I did say .com. Thank you for that. I want to say big ups to Marlon, host of Real Rockers. Marlon had quite the smoking show earlier. I don't know if I'm going to keep making these smoking references throughout the night. I don't know. I didn't plan to, but I don't know. We'll see how it works out. And so, big ups to Marlon, host of Real Rockers. Happens every Monday and Wednesday just before the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew from 7 to 10 p.m. Check him out. Follow him on social media. It's Real Rockers, RealRockaz. Real Rockers. Okay? Cool. So, back to if you don't make enough money to file taxes on a regular. If when it is, or will you actually receive a payment? Yes, you will. So those who have no income, yeah. Those whose income comes entirely from federal benefit programs like supplemental security income, SSI benefits. Yes, you too will receive a payment. There's no minimum income that is needed to receive the payment. The question, what do I need to get a payment? I recently filed a tax return. What do I need to get? Well, you do not need to take any further action. If you filed a federal income tax return for 2018 or 2019, if you already filed for 2019, the IRS will use this information to calculate the payment amount. If you haven't filed your tax return for 2019 but filed 2018, the IRS will use information from your 2018 tax return to calculate the payment amount. You understand? I filed a tax return for 2018 or 19 and don't need to file tax returns for those years. I have not filed for 2018 or 19 and don't need to file for those years. I receive Social Security or railroad retirement benefits. What do I need to get a payment? Well, you're not required to file a tax return and will automatically receive a $1,200 payment if you received Social Security retirement, SSDI, survivor's benefits, SSI, railroad. I mentioned some of these before. Railroad Retirement Board, those fall under the category where the IRS will use the information from your 2019 benefits to generate a payment if you do not file tax returns or if you did not filed tax returns in 2019 or 2018, you will receive your payment as a direct deposit or by mail, just as you would normally receive your federal benefits. I haven't filed a tax return, a federal tax return for 2018 or 19, and don't receive Social Security retirement or any other federal benefits. What do I need to do then to get a payment? Okay. Well, courtesy of the IRS, you have to provide basic information to the IRS to receive your payment. The IRS urges you to take one of the following actions, and to do it as soon as you can. You can use non-filers. There's a non-filers tool to provide simple information to the IRS so that you can get your payment. U.S. citizens and permanent residents can use this tool if they had gross income that did not exceed $12,200, or for married couples filing jointly, $24,400 for 2019, and were not otherwise required to file a federal tax return for 2019 and didn't plan to do so. This is the quickest way to get your payment. You can file a federal tax return for 2019 with the IRS even if you receive non-taxable income and or do not make enough money to normally have to file tax returns. Have your bank account information available when you use this tool, because that is how you'll need to get your payment as quickly as possible. You enter your banking information so that I can do a direct deposit. Otherwise, the IRS will mail your payment to the address that you provided. So, how do I know then if I'm required to file a tax return if I did not file one in 2018 or 2019? Okay. There is an IRS interactive tax assistant online tool that provides answers to tax questions. So there's a tool that falls under do I need to file a tax return? If you put do I need to file a tax return IRS in your search bar, you'll probably come up with the link that takes you there. Otherwise, you go to the irs.gov site and you search for that. You put it in the search, you put that question in there. Or the tool can help you to determine if you're required to file a 2019 federal income tax return. Just answer the questions about your filing status, your federal income tax withheld, and basic information to help you determine your gross income to see if you need to file a 2019 tax return. If you had no income or income under a certain amount, you are not required to file a tax return. If you are not required to file a tax return, the non-filers tool, the non-filers enter payment information here tool, that is the fastest way to get your payment. If I receive veterans benefits, do I need to provide information to the IRS or file a tax return to receive a payment? Okay. The IRS continues to explore ways to see if payments can be made automatically to those who receive veterans disability compensation, pension, or survivor benefits for the Department of Veterans Affairs. Or from the Department of Veterans Affairs, that is. But they did not file a tax return for 2018 or 2019 tax year. So if you get the benefit but you didn't file a tax return, they're constantly exploring ways. And again, you can use a non-filers tool to quickly receive your payment or wait as the IRS continues to review automatic payment options to simplify delivery for these veterans and their families. Now, I hope I'm answering some of the questions that you guys have, but did not ask. And for some of you who did ask, I, I hope you're being satisfied. Again, irs.gov has a lot of the answers to the questions that you're asking. Who should not use the non-filers payment info tool? The non-filers tool. Well, if you already filed a 2019 tax return, if you already received your payment based on your 2018 or 2019 return, even if you did not receive the full amount, example, because you have a newly born child in 2020 who was not reported on your 2019 return, that is taken into consideration. Well, if they get the information, of course. Someone could claim you as a dependent on their 2019 return. These are the people who should not use the non-filers tool. If you are married but will not be using the tool with your spouse, you must file a 2019 or 2018 tax return to receive your payment separate from your spouse. You were not a U.S. citizen or U.S. permanent resident in 2019. Those who were resident aliens in 2019 because they satisfied substantial presence test and qualify for the payment must file a tax return to receive the payment. I need to file a tax return, but I'm concerned about visiting a tax professional or a local community organization in person to get help with the tax return. How long is the payment available? All right, so payments will be made throughout 2020. If you don't receive a payment this year, you can also claim it by filing a tax return for 2020 next year. So it is available till the end of the year. It's not like the deadline goes away and you can't get it anymore. No, it's available. And one more before I take a quick little break. Will the IRS contact me about my payment? The IRS will not call, email, or text you about your payment. The IRS will not contact you to request personal or bank account information. Watch out for the websites and social media attempts that request money or personal information and for schemes tied to economic impact payment. The IRS urges taxpayers to visit their website, irs.gov. That's the official IRS website. And you want to go there to protect against scam artists. The IRS has issued a warning about the various scams as a result of the coronavirus. For security reasons, a letter about the payment will be mailed to each recipient's last known address within 15 days after the payment is made. The letter will provide information on how the payment was made and how to report any failure to receive the payment. So there are checks and balances to this thing. So don't think that if your check was mailed out and it went somewhere else, that you're not going to get it.
No. If it is yours, you're entitled to it. You somehow, some way, you will get it, because once the IRS deposits it, listen, I don't think there's anybody who can get away from the IRS. And if you have gotten away from the IRS before, believe me, they are going to get theirs, and you're going to get yours. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more, and we'll be that much closer to having a little chat with Anthea Pennant. We'll be right back.
Policy Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Policy Media Group.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
Hey yo, this is Caraman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on The Night Shift. Don't move.
I'll be home in a minute. Not take no time for change, it's date night. I feel like dancing tonight, it's date night. Alright, tell me where you feel like. Anywhere you wanna go, it's your night. Put on the dress you know I like, let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. Tell me where you feel like. Anything you wanna do is your night. Put on that dress you know I like, let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. Oh, na, 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 na. I wanna see you smile, that makes me forget what kind of a hectic day I had at work and get lost in your essence. I wanna feel your body rock and sway to some reggae the DJ play inside a club where no one knows I'm in. Your warm embrace, your tenderness is reassuring. It's gonna be alright, you whispering in my ear. Believe every word you say as I let you have your way. Go get dressed, baby, I'll wait. Tell me where you feel like. Anywhere you wanna go, it's your night. Put on the dress you know I like, let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. Tell me where you feel like. Anything you wanna do is your night. Put on that dress you know I like, let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. This 9 to 5 got me away with all the deadlines with postcoders. Now my supervisor's breathing down my neck. The thing that gets me through the day are thoughts of you. Just knowing somebody so beautiful is waiting there for me. Your warm embrace, your tenderness is reassuring. It's gonna be alright, you're whispering in my ear. Believe every word you say as I let you have your way. Go get dressed, baby, I'll wait. So tell me where you feel like. Anywhere you wanna go, it's your night. Put on the dress you know I like, let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. Tell me where you feel like. Anything you wanna do is your night. Put on the dress you know I like, let down your hair. Get dressed up, let's take my ride and go somewhere. I'll be home in a minute. Not take no time for change, it's date night. I feel like dancing tonight, it's date night. Alright now. I'll be home in a minute. Not take no time for change, it's date night. I feel like dancing tonight, it's date night. Alright. Tell me where you feel like. Anywhere you wanna go is.
This is the sound of Steven Souza. The track is called Date Night.
Take my ride and go somewhere.
Courtesy of One Harmony Radio.
Tell me where you feel like.
Well, One Harmony Radio Productions.
Your night. Put on the dress you know I like, let down your hair. Get dressed up to take my ride and go somewhere. Tell me where you feel like.
Yeah, put on a dress, let down your hair. You know, we're gonna go to the other side of the house because there's really nowhere that we can go outside of the house at this point in time. We're locked down. But no, never fear. You can make date night at home work. You know what I mean? You know, just change things up a little bit. Who says you can't get dressed and hang out at home? I saw a friend of mine on social media post a picture with her husband and said it was date night. And they got dressed up and they took a picture. And I'm like, that's it right there. You got it. And maybe I should have encouraged her to just start a little movement, date night movement, and have everybody post pictures of their date nights with their partners at home during the lockdown, the corona lockdown. You know, maybe that's something that can help to re-energize your relationships. Because, you know, a good, healthy relationship. One of the things that was found out scientifically is that couples tend to be
more financially stable, and they tend to find a little bit more happiness in their stability. And it's not to say that it's the money that made them more happy, or that made them happier. Yes and no, because they figured out how to spend that money. It's not necessarily spending the money on yourself that makes you happy, but this takes you into a whole nother show. However, it's finance night, and aspects of our financial life bleed over into our personal lives, in that people, and they checked this out, they did experiments after experiments, studies after study, and it actually showed where the people who actually gave more were happier. Who knew? And one of the things that they used to gauge as they did that was some lottery winners. And they found out that people that won the lottery were less happy than they were before. Because what happened is some of them became social hermits. They became antisocial because people kept on hitting them up for money. So they withdrew from everybody, or they got into arguments with people because of money, because people wanted money. So there's that. People ended up in debt because now they won the lottery, so they got all this money. They started buying everything, not really realizing that, listen, every day you carry a bucket to the well, one day the bottom is gonna fall out. And I say it that way. It's an old Jamaican saying, every day you carry a bucket go well, one day the bottom I go drop out. I just said it so that everybody could understand. And they didn't set aside money to keep money coming in. There are a bunch of us that say, yeah, I can live forever off $1 million right now. But then people get it and they blow it in no time and end up in debt. So they end up not being happy anymore. So I say that to say this. When you get your stimulus check, spend it wisely. How much are you going to receive on that stimulus check? That's a question a lot of people ask. Eligible individuals will receive $1,200. Two eligible individuals filing a joint return will receive $2,400. You will receive an additional $500 payment for each qualifying child you claimed on your tax return being used to calculate your payment who meets the requiring the meets some conditions. What are those conditions, you might ask? Well, the child, your son, your daughter, your stepchild, eligible foster child, brother, sister, stepdaughter, stepbrother, stepsister, half-brother, half-sister, any descendant of any of them, being your grandchild, your niece, your nephew. The child is claimed as a dependent on your tax return. The child was under age 17 at the end of the taxable year. So at the end of 2019, they were under 17. Under 17 and over 16, maybe. Just rock and come in. The child was a U.S. citizen, a U.S. national, or U.S. resident alien. The child has a valid Social Security or an adoption taxpayer identification number, an ATIN. Once they meet those requirements, then you qualify for an additional $500 for each of those children. What is the amount of the payment if I have not filed a tax return for 2018 or 2019? And am I receiving an automatic payment based on the benefits that Social Security Administration or RRB paid me in 2019? So your payment is limited to $1,200. Get that figure stuck in your head. Keep it there. Don't lose it. $1,200. An additional $1,200 paid to your spouse if SSA or RRB also paid benefits to your spouse in 2019. Because the IRS would not have information regarding your qualifying children, you will not receive the additional $500 payment for any qualifying children unless you provide additional information to the IRS. You must also provide additional information to claim the full $2,400 payment with your spouse if your spouse did not receive benefits from SSA or RRB in 2019. Provide this information using the non-filers tool or by filing a federal income tax return. You must provide this additional information before your additional $1,200 payment is scheduled. Will my payment be reduced if my income is too little or too much? Once you're eligible, you don't need a minimum income for the payment. However, for higher income individuals, the payment amount is reduced by 5% of the amount that your adjusted gross income exceeds $75,000. $112,500 for taxpayers filing as head of household, or $150,000 for taxpayers filing joint return, until it is zero. So 5% for the amount that your adjusted gross income exceeds $75,000. The $1,200 payment for eligible individuals with no qualifying children, or $2,400 for married couples, will be reduced to zero once adjusted gross income reaches certain thresholds. Which thresholds? Well, $198,000 for taxpayers filing joint, $136,500 for taxpayers filing as head of household, and $99,000 for all others. Each of these threshold amounts increases by $10,000 for each additional qualifying child. For example, because families with one qualifying child receive an additional $500 payment, their $1,700 payment, being $2,900 for taxpayers filing joint return, will be reduced to zero once adjusted gross income reaches certain thresholds. Those thresholds being $208,000 for taxpayers filing joint, $146,500 for taxpayers filing as head of household, and $109,000 for all others. I saw where someone put in the stew pot that the IRS will never ask you for any personal information by phone or email. Thank you for that. That's some very important information to have, because the scammers out there will use any tool that they have available. That's what they do. So here it is. I filed my joint return with my spouse. Will we then receive a payment if I have a valid social security number and my spouse has an IRS individual taxpayer number, the ITIN? Well, when spouses file jointly, both spouses must have valid social security numbers to receive a payment with one exception. Either the spouse is a member of the U.S. Armed Forces at any time during the taxable year. Only one spouse needs to have a social security number. If spouses file separately, the spouse who has a social security number may qualify for a payment. The other spouse without will not qualify. So get your stuff together. If you don't have it together, you need to get it together. What is meant by a valid social security number? Well, a valid SSN for a payment is one that is valid for employment and is issued by the SSA before the due date of your 2019 tax return, which includes the filing deadline postponed to July 15th and the extension to October 15 if you request it, or your 2018 tax return, including extension, if you haven't filed your 2019 tax return. If the individual was a U.S. citizen when they received the social security number, then it is valid for employment. If not, or if not valid for employment is printed on the individual's social security card, and the individual's immigration status has changed so that they are now a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, then ask the Social Security Administration for a new social security card. However, if valid for work only with DHS authorization is printed on the social security card, the individual has the required social security number only as long as the Department of Homeland Security authorization is valid. So only as long as they're allowed to be in the U.S. and working. Is a child born, adopted, or placed into foster care in 2020 a qualifying child for payment? Good question. Because everything is happening in 2020, right? The payment in 2020 will not include an additional amount for these children because the payment in 2020 is based only on information from your 2019 tax return. So you may claim the child next year for an additional credit on your 2020 tax return, but not for the 2019. You get it? I received an additional $500 payment in 2020 for my qualifying child. However, the child just turned 17. Will I now have to pay back that $500 next year when I file that tax return? I know some people are worried about that one. Answer, no. There is no provision in the law requiring repayment of a payment. When you file next year, you can claim additional credits on your 2020 tax return if you are able to be eligible for them. Example, if your child is born in 2020, but you won't be required to repay any payment when filing your 2020 return, even if your qualifying child turns 17 in 2020, or your adjusted gross income increases in 2020 above the thresholds that we mentioned before. So, no, you won't be required to pay back anything. I claimed my child as a dependent on my 2019. My child is now graduating from school in 2020. Will that child now have their own payment? No. Your child will not receive a payment in 2020 because you claimed that child as a dependent on your 2019. They will not receive a $1,200 credit in 2021 if you can claim them as a dependent on your 2020 tax return. However, if your child cannot be claimed as a dependent by you or anyone else as on your 2020 tax return, then they may be eligible to claim a $1,200 credit on the 2020 tax return when they file for that period. In 2021, when they file for 2020, yeah, they can claim a credit. So, if I claimed my mother as my dependent on my 2019 return, will I receive an additional payment for her, or will she receive her own payment? No. You will not receive an additional payment amount for your mom because she is not your qualifying child under age 17. Your mom will not receive her own payment because you claimed her as a dependent on your 2019 tax return. Your mom will not receive credit in 2021 if you can claim her as a dependent on your 2020 tax return. So, some more things that you definitely want to keep in mind. We're going to take another quick little break. 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. You can call and share some of your experiences with your stimulus checks. 773-789-7839. Call, text, jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com and share with us there. You know, what has been your experience? Has anybody tried to scam you using this whole stimulus payment? Let us know. Thank you, Althea, for sponsoring this segment of the show. Althea's Healing Heavenly Hands sponsored this segment of the show. We're going to take another quick little break. When we come back, we're going to talk just a little bit more. Yeah? So call your friends, tell your friends. We're going to answer some questions as it relates to receiving this stimulus payment. One of them is a question that I've heard buzzing around about the payment that you're getting now being taxable and paying it back because the government doesn't give anything for free. And, you know, you've heard that argument. We're going to address that question. That's will be the first question we address when we come back. Is the payment taxable as 2020 income? We'll be back after this short break.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This nonprofit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today?
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
It's Christine representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin Stew and the night shift radio show. Yo, it at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Wow, DJ Kevin Stew have the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin Stew believe him, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show of the city. It's a hot it up. Loud.
I said the more things change, the more them remain the same. Yeah, even though it rains today, yet come tomorrow, it all just drains away. All fades away. Yeah. Today might fill with pain, but come tomorrow, the joy returns again. The joy returns. And after all the fuss and all the fight, everything they put us through, and after all the cuss and all the sus, the one thing to do is don't forget to remember, come November, their world remain the same. Nothing will change. I'm hoping that you remember, come November, nothing on earth will change. Nothing ever changed, no. The lies that them tell today, come tomorrow, they'll tell them lies again. Same lies, oh, yeah. The system that's in place to keep us in our place will never change. No. After all the fight, they'll take your rights, and we know it's true. And after all the talk, we march and walk, the one thing to do is don't forget to remember, come November, their world remain the same. Nothing ever changed, no. I'm hoping that you remember, come November, it's still the same. Nothing on earth will change. Nothing ever changed, no. Round and round and round, this old world still goes around. Round and round and round, but sooner or later they'll feed the ground. Round and round and round, when will my people start to learn? What goes up comes down. Who start the fire will get burned. Don't forget to remember, remember, come November, the world remains the same. The more things changes, the more they remain the same. Yeah, I'm hoping that you remember, come November, please remember, nothing on earth will change. I'll change, no. Don't forget to remember, come November, the world remains the same.
The sound of Ed Robinson.
The world will always remain the same.
A track called Don't Forget to Remember.
Oh, come November, nothing on earth will change.
Nothing on earth will change come November. Well, I know one thing will be different in November. My age. On paper, that is. I know I'll remain as young as I feel, but come November, my age will change. That's one thing that will change. Okay, so as we come in for the home stretch, getting down towards musical therapy time. And I do want to apologize for those who were keen on hearing from Anthea Pennant tonight. She did get caught up with some things here at the last minute. So she was trying to make it on, and it doesn't seem like it will work out for tonight. So we'll see what happens again later on. So we'll continue to look at this stimulus payment. Okay? All right. The economic impact payment, courtesy of the coronavirus. So the question that we've been waiting for since before the break, is the payment taxable for 2020? No. The payment is not income, and you will not owe tax on your payment. It will not reduce your refund or increase the amount you owe when you file your 2020 taxes. A payment will not affect your income for purposes of determining eligibility for federal government assistance or benefit programs. So if you're worried about any of those things as it relates to your payment, set your mind at ease. If I owe tax or have a payment agreement with the IRS or owe other federal or state debts, will my payment be reduced as an offset? Answer, no. It will not. With one exception. The payment will be offset only by past due child support. You've probably seen some of the memes where people are saying, well, there goes my stimulus check. It went into child support, or heard people talk about it. Well, yeah. The Bureau of the Fiscal Service will send you a notice if an offset occurs. If you are married, filing jointly, and you filed an injured spouse claim with your 2019 tax return or your 2018 tax return if you haven't filed your 2019, half of the total payment will be sent to each spouse, and your spouse's payment will be offset only for past due child support. There's no need to file another injured spouse claim for the payment. So, let's say you qualify and you are due for a check. How then will the IRS know where to send your payment? Well, if you receive direct deposit of your refund based on your 2019 tax return or your 2018, if you haven't done your 2019 yet, the IRS has sent your payment to the bank account
provided on the most recent tax return. If you filed Form 8888 allocation refund with your tax return to split your refund into multiple accounts, your payment was deposited to the first bank account you listed. You cannot change your account information. If you filed your 2019 or 2018 tax return but did not receive your refund by direct deposit, your payment will be mailed to the address that you have on file, even if you also receive Social Security or Railroad retirement benefits by direct deposit. This is generally the address on your most recent tax return or as updated through the U.S. Postal Service. If you did not receive your refund by direct deposit based on your 2019 tax return or your 2018 tax return, if you didn't file 2019, you have the opportunity to provide bank account information through IRS Get My Payment. There's a tool for that. You know how you'd normally say there's an app for that? With the IRS, there's a tool for that. So it's the IRS Get My Payment tool. Before your payment is processed, you can go on there and put in that information. Direct deposit is the fastest way to receive your payment. Fastest. Test. If there's something faster than fastest, is that. What if the bank account number I used on my recent tax return is closed or is no longer active? Can I switch and be mailed a payment? Good question. Well, if the bank account is closed or is no longer active, the bank will reject the deposit and you'll be issued a check that will be mailed to the address that is on file for you. And this is generally the address on your most recent tax return or as updated through the U.S. Postal Service. You do not need to call the IRS to change your payment method or update your address at this point in time. As required by law and for security reasons, a letter about the payment will, once again, let me say this, after the payment is made, 15 days after, a letter will be sent to the recipient's last known address. 15 days after the payment is made. The letter will provide information on how the payment was made and how to report any failure to receive the payment. So, let's say you filed your taxes and you owed tax. And you schedule a payment by way of electronic funds withdrawal, direct pay, or electronic funds transfer payment system from your bank account. Will the IRS send my payment to the account that was used? No. The IRS will not send payments to the accounts used to make a payment to the IRS. After you properly verify your identity, the Get My Payment tool will allow you to submit your bank account information if your payment has not been processed. Providing your bank information is, again, the fastest way to receive your payment. Now, if they do not have bank information for you as the recipient, your payment will be mailed to the address that is on file for you. So, the Get My Payment tool is probably the tool that you want to get familiar with. So I already filed my 2019 return, but I didn't provide any banking information. Can I then use a non-filer's payment tool to provide banking information? No. That tool cannot be used if you already filed your 2019 return. You want to use your Get My Payment tool if you want to provide your banking information or to learn the status of your payment. So that has to be the most versatile tool as it relates to this payment. The Get My Payment tool. How do I find the bank account information that the IRS needs? Well, you can find this information on one of your checks or through your online banking application, your apps. Or contact your financial institution directly. Make sure to enter the routing number, the account number, and the account type, whether it is your checking account or your savings account. Make sure that information is entered correctly, or else it will be somebody else's account, or you won't get your money. Well, it will be mailed out to you. You won't get it by that method. What if I don't have a bank account? Is there anybody that doesn't have a bank account in this day and age? Well, your payment will be mailed to you, and it will be mailed to the address that is on file. This is, again, the address that your most recent tax return, or the address that you have updated on by way of the U.S. Postal Service. So, what if you moved? Your address is different from the last tax return. How then can you change the address? Well, to add your address, if you have not already filed your 2019 tax return, enter your new address on your tax return when you file. When your tax return is processed, then your records will be updated. If you have filed your 2019 and you do not receive direct deposits of your refund, or your payment will be mailed to the address that is on file. And again, it comes back to the information that the U.S. Postal Service also has for you. The change of address must be processed before the payment is scheduled. So you probably want to visit the IRS website. If you moved recently, you might want to visit the website for that, irs.gov, irs.gov. Okay? What if banking information needs to be changed? Again, that very useful tool, that Get My Payment tool. Yes. Visit the IRS site and utilize the Get My Payment tool. Again, if Get My Payment indicates your payment has been processed, you cannot change your banking information. If you have not filed your 2019 or 2018 tax return and you received a form SSA 1099 or form IB 1099, RB 1099, sorry, RRB for the railroads, your bank account information may be obtained from your Social Security from the Social Security Administration. You will receive your payment as a direct deposit or by mail, just as you would normally receive your benefits. And you will not be able to use the Get My Payment to provide your banking information. If you requested a direct deposit of your payment, then why would you be getting it as a check in the mail? Okay, it is possible. It is quite possible that the IRS doesn't have the correct bank information, or your financial institution rejected the direct deposit. In either case, Your payment will be mailed to the address that is on file for you, or come back again, the address as per the U.S. Postal Service. And this one now, this question relates to where you're living as a U.S. citizen. So, if you're a citizen and you live outside of the United States, are you still entitled to a payment? Yes, you are. Citizens living outside the country are eligible for payments. Anyone eligible to file a Form 1040 or Form 1040 SR is an eligible person if they have a valid social security number and cannot be claimed as a dependent on anyone else's taxes. Non-resident aliens who file or would file a 1040 NR or Form 1040 NR-EZ are not eligible for payments. Those are the non-resident aliens. However, resident aliens are citizens living outside of the U.S. that are eligible to form a Form 1040 or 1040 SR. You can get. Let's say you live in one of the territories: Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, Guam, Northern Mariana Islands. Are you eligible? Will you get a payment? In many cases, yes. But special rules in law apply to those territories. In general, the tax authorities in each territory will make payments to eligible residents. People in these territories will, with questions about the payments, should contact their local authority. Don't use the irs.gov site at that point. Well, you can use irs.gov and ask the questions, but you do want to consult the local authorities as it relates to your taxes. Will I get the payment if I'm not a U.S. citizen, a U.S. permanent resident, or a U.S. resident of any of these territories? U.S. resident aliens with a social security number are eligible for the payment if they cannot be claimed as a dependent or of another taxpayer. Determine if you are considered a U.S. resident alien at aliens which form to file. So that's something else that you can search for on the IRS site to ask questions about resident aliens. If you are eligible to file Form 1040 or 1040 SR, like U.S. citizens for 2019, including by filing a joint federal return with a U.S. citizen or U.S. resident alien spouse, the file Form 1040 or Form 1040 SR with the IRS for 2019, even if your income isn't enough to require you to file a tax return. You do not need to take any action if you already filed a Form 1040 or 1040 SR. If you did one for 2019 or 2018, you're good to go. If you're considered a U.S. resident alien for 2020 but not for 2019, you can claim the payment when you file with the IRS for 2020. So in 2021, next year, when you file, then you can claim for the payment. If you are considered a U.S. resident alien for 2019 but not for 2020, you will not be required to repay the payment paid in 2020 based on your Form 1040 or Form 1040 SR for the tax year 2019. So, yes, you will receive the payment. No, you will not be required to repay it. Answering 2 questions in one. All right? So, have all your questions been answered? If not, use the tools available to you by way of the IRS. irs.gov. irs.gov. Okay? Use the tools that are available. Use up the search. Ask your questions. The answers are there. I don't believe there's a question yet that they don't have an answer to. And if there is, they'll find an answer. So all your questions will get answered. I don't see, I'm yet to see where the IRS have not answered a question. It may take time to answer the question, but your question getting answered. Because if one thing is for sure, they'll get theirs. And if you have something coming to you, whether it is something positive or something negative, it is coming. You're not hiding from Uncle Sam. They're getting theirs and you're getting yours. So, hope all your questions as it relates to the payment and eligibility are concerned or have been answered. The question of how to use this payment, how to use this stimulus check, well, that's for another show. My suggestion to you is the generic one. Do use it wisely. If you see it as money that you are not expecting and it has come your way, then what you want to do is treat it with extra special care. Don't just go blowing it because no, you got extra money. No. You want to be wise about how you're using it. If you can use that money to help someone else, perfect. Do it. Because you know there's not everybody that will get a stimulus check. So if you can help out someone else when you get yours and you're in a position that you can do so, do so. Because we all know that this time is not an easy time. And we definitely want to be helping out each other as best we can. We never really know how we're going to do it, but the best way we can do it, and with everybody it's different. So if you can, go ahead, help out some people. If not, spend it wisely. Don't go buy the new shoes. Don't go buy go online shopping because you got this money that you don't have to pay back. And you're not getting taxed on it or anything like that. No. It is because you weren't able to earn during as you would during this time. And remember, it's one payment of $1,200 or $2,400 as the case may be, with an additional $500 per qualifying child. It's not something that is coming this month and next month and the month after that. So think about what you're doing. Be wise in your spending. All right? That's all I'm going to say on that. And now we get into our musical therapy. Thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring the previous segment. All right, let me play this Jada and then there's I need to play that SDS tune. I haven't played it in a while and I feel like I've been neglecting the ladies. And I need to not neglect the ladies. So I'm geeking off musical therapy right now with Jadon, track called Time to Advance from his brand new just released album 369.
When I grow older, look at entertainment. What you wanna become? Across entertainment. Make that be your challenge. Pay attention to your dreams. Always know. True, we ambitious. Make them not like we. Them not go like we, 'cause we are go have things in a life. Get a youth for rich when they rich. Take care of your family. Make sure your auntie, your uncle, sister, brother, alright. Everyone forget a small slice. Time to advance. Write down your plans. Execution. Create solution. Say me, I don't know me struggle, man. A business man, no hustle when them do when me I juggle. Every bill bring from me uncle, sell them one in a dozen. Some of us no first tune. Sit down, listen myself, pray the next move. The vision get clear. In a Sony, me want some share. You can call me black billionaire, or you call me black pioneer. Time to advance. Write down your plan. Execution. Create solution. Time to advance. Write down your plan. Get it to execution. Then create solution. Me a search for my goal, I'ma find it. Pass me a pen, make me sign it. Swipe or no swiping in a the cockpit. No mining, think me no care, me draw the line. From Jamaica to the Amazon, from the Amazon to the motherland. We are clear out everything around. Time to advance. Write down your plan. Execution. Create solutions. Time to advance. Write down your plan. Execution. Create solution. 369. 369. What a thing happen when each of them combine. Make them not like we. Them not go like we, 'cause we are go have things in a life. Get a youth for rich when they rich. Take care of your family. Make sure your auntie, your uncle, sister, brother, alright. Everyone forget a small slice. Time to advance. Write down your plans. Execution. Create solution.
The sound of Jadon. Thank you to GMAT Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show. GMAT Music Solutions provides sound, stage production services, lighting, musical equipment, PA system, audio engineers, DJs, bands, singers, you name it. They bring your event to life. Give them a call, 754-307-GMAC. That's 754-307-4622. And tell them you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. You can also visit them at gmatmusicsolutions.com. And you can do your online shopping through them. They are Amazon affiliates. So link them up for your event. Well, not many people having events right about now. So, well, that event that you're having, as soon as the lockdown is lifted, call them up and see what they can do for that event for you. How about that? And then you can connect with Paul C Media to stream that event live. Ask them how you can do that. You see how that works? And then link up with Reggae Global Entertainment and have them publicize that event for you, or see what artists you can get to perform live at that event that you're having. And then when you are either done with the event or as you're planning for your event, make sure you call up Althea so she comes to you with her healing heavenly hands, massage your shoulders, massage your back, give you that massage that you so desperately need to relax you so that you can have, if you're in the planning stages, in fact, as you're planning it, go ahead and get your massage so it keeps you relaxed, so you can think clearly and get your event started out well. You see how all that works? Beautifully. It comes together beautifully, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so too.
The sound of sensational dynamic sound, SDS. The dynamic trio out of South Florida. Their rendition of Woman in Love. I haven't played this one in a while. I love it. This is Ed Robinson. A track called Sunshine Reggae.
We got a message for you. Oh, yeah. When you smile, that smile, you do it every time. You let the good vibes flow. You let the good vibes grow. Yeah, it's the sunshine, sunshine, sunshine reggae. Take it easy. Sunshine, sunshine, sunshine reggae.
Ed Robinson, one of the genius minds
Just grow a little stronger
behind the production of SDS, A Woman in Love.
Wherever you go, when sweet little smile. That's all I ask of you. Oh yeah. Give me just a little smile. Bring it on, yeah. We got a message for you. Sunshine reggae, sweet like the sunshine. Don't you hurry, no, don't you worry, no. Take it easy. Sunshine reggae. Let the good vibes just grow a little stronger. Come here and give me just a little smile, just a smile. That's all I ask of you. Yeah, oh yeah. Give me, show me. Give me just a little smile. Show me that smile. We got a message for you. Oh yeah. It's the sunshine reggae. Oh yeah. Don't you hurry, don't you worry. Take it easy. Sunshine reggae. Let the good vibe just grow a little stronger. It's the sunshine reggae. Don't you hurry, don't you worry. Take it easy.
Today you're going away.
This is another one of the genius minds behind SDS, Joanna Marie.
Turn and smile and said no way. You should have left the day you came.
Is it any wonder they sound so good? They recognize good talent because they are good talent. This is Joanna Marie from her album Simply Irresistible. This is called Irresistible.
Wanna see you make her eye. Oh baby, please don't say goodbye, 'cause you're irreplaceable. It's more than just a feeling. My love is undefeatable. True love is for you and me, baby. Your love is undesirable. It's more than just a feeling. You're so irresistible. True love is for you and me, baby. 'Cause you're the one for me. I want a life. I want you for my guide for the rest of your life. So irresistible, baby. I wish you could see. Your love means so much to me. Without you, I won't last a day. Ooh, baby, won't you stay? My love for you will never stray. Many reasons I have to love you. Many reasons I have to care. But my love is real for you and not some lonely fairy tale. For like a candle, I will burn with your desire. For you tonight, I will stand and fight. Baby, come and light my fire. Irreplaceable, so desirable. It's more than just a feeling. You're the one for me. True It's more than just a feeling. I want you in my life. True love is for you and me. Even though I beg you to stay. It's more than just a feeling. It's more than just a feeling.
Now once when I want you to go, my poor heart tell me no. But I can't stand it no more. My cup is overflowing.
New music from Hezron.
Need your love no more.
For all the Hezites.
So you can live your life.
This is his rendition of Once Again.
I wish you good luck and goodbye. I'll see you around sometime. It's time for you to be wise, yeah. Take off your love disguise, yeah, Once when I want to go, my poor heart tell me no. No, I can't stand it no more. My cup is overflowing. You are once adored, yeah. Need your love no more, no more, yeah, Lord. Ooh, oh yeah, you are once adored, yeah. I need your love no more, Now once when I want to go, my poor heart tell me no. But I can't stand it no more. My cup is overflowing. You are once adored, yeah.
Hezron
Love no more.
for the Gregory Isaacs classic. Once Again. Music that puts a smile on your face. 9 minutes before the top of the hour. I guess one good new track deserves another, right? This is Ambelique. It's called Sugar Lips.
Sugar lips, sugar lips. Your kiss is sweet all the time. Sugar lips, sugar lips. One sip tastes like a wine. Sugar lips, sugar lips. Girl, I want you to be mine. Sugar, sugar lips, sugar baby, sugar. The first time we met, girl, it felt like magic. Now thinking of you gives me a rush every minute. Can't wait to hold you, baby, in my arms. Feel your sweet caress, your tender charm. Now my sweet dreams are reality. You filled my cup when it was empty, baby. Sugar lips, sugar lips. Your kiss is sweet all the time. Sugar lips, sugar lips. One sip tastes like a wine. Sugar lips.
Those are the kind of lips that give you diabetes.
Girl, I want you to be mine. My sugar. Sugar lips, sugar baby.
New music from Ambelique. It's called Sugar Lips.
Losing now. Girl, it would be tragic. Cause your laughter and your smile I couldn't do without it. Cause you're the angel I was meant to love. The one that I've been dreaming of. Now my sweet dreams turn reality. You filled my cup when it was empty, baby. Sugar lips,
kind of lips you want to give consideration to when you're thinking about healthy love. And I do want to remind you to join me tomorrow for Healthy Love, 10 till midnight, right here, kevinstew.com. Get some sugar lips, some real Ital love. What? This is the real star. It's called Ital.
You smoother than the creamer when me pouring on my coffee. Anything me need, me now to search because you have it. Now long conversations in the night, yo. Talking about things that we got into. You overstand all that I've been through. There's no pretending when I'm with you. Gonna love you, gonna make you mine. Don't give me the eye, no love, no baby, facing on the data line. Take my watch, I give you all my time. This kind of meditation's hard to find. Are you alone, me wanting on me personal diameter? Not to your nice and not to your neater. You're firing, not to your sweeter. I wanna be your empress, wanna be your senorita. Give me a paper, give me a lighter. I make me blaze the pipe. You tell me you need me like some artist and you really need a writer. You want the cook with me salsa, the mineral in me water. I know that touch I made you, I just for me. Gonna love you, gonna make you mine. You give me the eye. Body's integrating in pleasure. You whisper in my ears and make we do this forever. Can we claim the eyes and face below them together? Oh gosh, I'm longing for you. Are you longing for me? I see in your eyes that you want me to stay. Wrap up in your arms and the liquor spatter. Run away, run away, run away, baby. Gonna love you, gonna make you mine. Don't give me the eye one up.
Well, I'm gonna tell you in a minute what Ital love plus sugar lips is equal to. I want to thank you all once again for tuning in tonight. Once again, I apologize for Anthea Pennant not being available due to some unforeseen circumstances. She also sends her apologies. The sugar lips, the Ital love, lets you get to the hills and the valleys. This is Jamie Hinkson. This is where I leave you. Bounce out a little instrumental ease. His rendition of Budges
hills and valleys. But use your imagination and let it take you to wherever you need to go. Good afternoon, good morning, good day to you wherever you are in the world from right here in South Florida. I bid you good night.
Is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.